Hello, beautiful and lovely gamers. My name is Jonal. Today, I want to talk about learning new heroes, improving your new learned heroes, how this affect you long term, how it affect you short term game wise, and why it's smart to take a look at a lot of heroes. Now, as a private coach, I had to learn how to play every hero in the game very quickly. As someone that had to start coaching my own team and in general, so I watched videos on YouTube, I read on the subreddit, I went on the forums, and I talked to people about stuff. I heard discussion, I watched pro matches, stuff like that, and all that. To a certain extent, when you like one match, you can just be like, okay, today I'm only gonna focus on the support players of the team and see how do they position themselves, how do they burn their ultimates and stuff like that. Listening to analysts and stuff like that talk about how stuff is, and just in general argumenting both with myself and friends. Now that's teaching you how to play a character, right? What's your role on a team and stuff like that. Mechanically, it doesn't teach you a lot. For example, I can coach a Lucio, but my Lucio in mechanically myself is terrible. Same, well, at least similar, at least with my Zen. I'm not used to the projectile speed 100% of a Zen, so I will need a game or two or a good warm-up before I'm comfortable with the projectile speed. Now, why is it important to learn more heroes? Besides the fact that that expands your hero roster, right? And flexibility is always nice. Even if you don't want to do it for your team, being able to flex for yourself. So in certain situations, I know, for example, my Genji is not going to be viable. If they then instead run a lot of tanks but no shields, okay, maybe my Hanzo is way more viable, or a McCree, or a Tracer if I need to flank and relieve pressure, or burst, or in general deal with people in the backline. Pulse bombs are always nice. Widowmakers can be nice if they don't have shield. I want to keep more distance, or no, if I just want to deal with a Widow and can't use my Genji. I can also flex over to majority of tanks, especially off tanks and main tanks if need be, if my team needs it, or if I feel that we need it. A lot of time Hog is a go-to breaker of chokes for me. If I feel a problem with a choke, a lot of time locking a Hog helps a lot with that, and Diva always help, you know, against dive, and in general all situations I rarely go wrong if I pick my Diva. And this expanding hero roster, of course, makes it easier for me to win certain matches. And I talked to certain people. I believe I talked to Hake actually today, and I talked to him, you know, okay, do you think that it would be that I could hit GM? And he said, yeah, I definitely believe that you are the guy you could hit GM, you could be in GM, because for those who don't know, I've been in GM like once. And getting to GM myself, he believes I could do that if I believed in myself, and if I continue to use the hero roster that I have, because that's my strong suit. I'm kind of jack of all trades. Now, what's so nice about having a huge hero roster is that learning other heroes is incredibly easy. For example, I picked up Mei around, you know, double triple tank right before the big ultimate nerf came, you know, where they reduced all ultimates by 33%, and I think they decreased Mei's even more, like with 20 or 25 extra on top of that. Before that, I picked up Mei, and I practiced a lot of aiming with my ice spike so I could be good with my team. I practiced walling with my team and stuff like that. And then later on, I picked up more Ana. And immediately, you know, one thing that I was good at was sleep dart, because a sleep dart is as good as the same as a Mei. The cast time is a little bit different, where Mei is a charge, so you can kind of like see it expand and shoot, while Ana is an animation of a draw cycling and then a shot, and the projectile speed is different. But you can kind of take those two, and then you can kind of time them. Like you can line those up with Genji shurikens and Hanzo arrows, and then you have like this perfect line of you knowing exactly, okay, this projectile is faster than the sleep dart, but it's slower than a Hanzo arrow, so it's around here in the spectrum. And then in your mind, you can with ease start always aiming with those, because as soon as you know, okay, I want to land a shot on a Tracer, especially early on, I didn't think, okay, I need to fire the sleep dart. I just imagined that I was Mei and needed to fire my ice spike and hit the Tracer, not needing to land a headshot. So it became pretty consistent that I could start landing those shots, especially on tanks and way easier targets. And that's the beauty of it, knowing playstyle, knowing positional playstyle, knowing, you know, okay, I play Genji and I play Tracer and I play McCree. Those three heroes, okay, can adapt in between each other playstyles and how I need them to be. And it also helps you on one-on-one situation, or not just one-on-ones, but in general situation, right? If you can play a hero really well, for example, think about your main hero. Think about, I don't know who your main is. Drop down your main in the comment section right now. Who is your main? Who's like the hero that you're best on, has like most hours on, and knows the most about? If you're going toe to toe against that exact same hero, does that, like, then you can essentially imagine how he's gonna react to certain stuff. You can force certain stuff by just thinking, how would I react in that situation, right? So for example, Senyaras, you easily know as Tracer when that guy is gonna charge up his volleys and when he's gonna try to shoot them, so when you need to recall, right? You normally know when the damage cycle has been coming through, just because you know as a Zenyatta player that, okay, after this amount of time and in this range, and when he's looking at me like that, I know if that was me as Zenyatta, I would probably already have killed, I would be close to killing the Tracer, so maybe I want to recall now so I don't die to the Zenyatta. Same with Ana, you can normally always see when they want to nade or sleep dart if you play a lot of Ana. It's very, very transparent. You know the situation even before they use the animations. Same with flashbangs and scatter arrows, same with dashes and deflects, same with hooks and bubbles. You normally always know when you can bait out a certain ability, and you also know where they're gonna stand and how they're gonna react. If you push the Zenyatta, where is he gonna go? Most likely backwards. When he wants to peek a volley, as Zenyatta a lot of time they charge their charge up, and then they peek the corner, and then they fire, and of course then they unpeek. If they get pushed while they unpeek, they a lot of time also hit the S key to try to give some space, especially if they feel threatened. So if you know that they're going to do that, then you automatically know what movement pattern they're going to have. So if you're a Tracer, you're a Pulse Bomb, you know exactly when you see him charging the volley, you know the charge time. As soon as you see him or hear him from the beginning, you can count the charge time in your head because you also play a lot of Zen. I mean, you can easily bypass that. And you know that he's gonna go the opposite direction of where he peaks, and he's gonna do that for a little bit under a second. They normally unpeak real quick just to not get hit by retaliation, and then they charge the new volley. So no, okay, a little bit more to the side of where he peaked. He'll be standing and in opposite direction. I'll blink there, and now I know where he's gonna end up. So now I know approximately where to already drop my pulse bomb before he even fired his volley. I know where I want my pulse bomb approximately to go. And that's a huge thing, and while you of course have to take into consideration all the scenarios of a match and individual play style, which is more of analyzing, having this huge roster in your head will give you so much knowledge. Also, being able to see weaknesses in enemy team comps and strength in enemy team comps, because you know how it is to play Hog without a shield, you know how it is to play Winston without a Diva, and compared to having a Zarya, you know how it is to play with Moira, Lucio, and play dive, because, well, you've been in the shoes of majority of those heroes while that has been going on already, so you know how the enemy team is gonna feel, you know how your team is gonna feel, and you know how their heroes are gonna have certain weaknesses in certain places that they probably will try to play, which won't work in these scenarios because you have been through the same agonizing pain of being that one hero in this shitty situation and getting absolutely destroyed yourself. And if I always advertise, you know, people to learn multiple heroes, also from multiple classes, so always learn some DPSs, even though you're support main. Learn support heroes and learn tanks, so you both can flex around, but also you make it easier to learn future hero 27, 28, 29, 30, right? All these future heroes to be able to learn them. And also because 1v1ing and dealing with other enemy heroes becomes so much easier if you know how they're gonna react to situations. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, then of course, as always, guys, like and dislike if you did, and subscribe if you want to like what I do on this channel. I messed that up, didn't I? Really well as well. Drop down in the comments who your favorite hero is, and what does your hero pool look like? Is it a big roster, a small roster? As always, guys, you can come and watch me live on Twitch. There's a link down in the description, including timestamp for when I go live, including my Twitter as well, and our lovely Discord community run by our moderators. I hope I see you guys in the next episode. As always, guys, my name has been Jonal. Stay awesome, guys, and keep the enemy in your crosshair.